this is particularly a time where, if you're a member of the NDC, more than ever, you should be rejuvenated. You should bring back that winning spirit, the indomitable spirit of the members of the NDC, because from what happened from Friday night through to Saturday to Sunday morning, the number of calls from members, I've had some police commanders, some members, professionals, everybody telling and reaching out to say that more than ever, we think the NDC is now ready for election 2024. And I'm particularly excited. So when I hear Ellen and Laura to say, I mean, Ellen said that it's basically recycling the old face. Laura to buttress that point. It was a bit amusing because you were talking about the NDC with a chairman like Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Until yesterday, he was known as General Mosquito, now Chairman General. I don't think that there is anybody in NPP that we can even mention and compare to General Mosquito or Chairman General. In other jurisdictions, personalities like General Mosquito should be studied. He's a maestro. I think that let no one make a mistake and in their own political life try to underestimate General. I mean, I think General should be understudied, devoid of which party you belong. I think that if anybody appreciates political science and the science of winning election, I think that General should be understudied. Then we are in another economic mess. We find ourselves in the country where inflation is 50.4%. The people are half poor than they were a year ago. We find ourselves in the country where for 40 years unemployment is all-time high. We find ourselves in the country that is practically debt distressed. Today, pensioners are being given a haircut. All the work they have done, we have an economic whiz kid who has become an economic barber, giving everybody a haircut. Then the NDC goes to an election and elects a man like Fifi Fiavekwete. My, oh my, that is sending a signal to Ghanaians that the NDC is more than ready to appreciate the nuances of what we are going through. I don't think that when it comes to the economic prowess, appreciation and understanding, I don't think when it comes to communication and obviously setting the record straight, there is anybody in the NPP that we can compare with Mr. Fifi Fiavekwete, not even their current finance minister. The wealth of knowledge and experience. Fifi has been a deputy minister of finance before. You never saw inflation of 50.5%, never. And so when we are doing this analysis and juxtaposition, I think it has to be in context. If you take the organizer, Yamin has a master's degree in security. Yamin is one of the great organizers. I did my politics for the longest time in Ashanti region, so I know the competences of what Joseph Yamin can do. And he brings that fresh face, that fresh vibe to the national office and say that we'll organize. He also has two amazing deputies. We are talking about the position of women's organizer. You have Dr. Louisa Hannah Bisiu, another fantastic woman, a woman who practically eats, walks, wears NDC, and understands the grassroots. I don't even remember the name of the women's organizer of the NPP. I don't think that there is a basis for comparison. So I, as a member of the NDC, from what I saw yesterday, I believe that the voice of the people is the voice of God. The delegates understood the assignments given to them. The delegates understood the timing, and they have delivered that, you know what, we want power. I had the benefit of interacting with a lot of the young people who came to Congress from across the 16 regions. And there was one thing which was consistent: the enthusiasm to win power. And I should say that this election was not just about the NDC. This election was about battle to rescue the soul of the country, because the NDC is the only alternative to the recklessness and a sham of a governance we are experiencing today. So it is incumbent on us to send the right signals to the people that, you know what, we can form a better government. You've experienced the presidency of John Mahama, and we've seen what we are experiencing now. Not even NPP members can confidently say it anywhere, that we live in very good times. I can appreciate that their communicators cannot even come on air and say otherwise. But I know that they are feeling it in their private lives. And like every Ghanaian, we are feeling the hardship. And so when we go for our Congress and we give the crop of national executive that we've given, it shows that we are not complacent. I mean, we know that we are going into the 2024 election with people who don't respect the tenets of democracy, that they will come and choose partisan people into the office of electoral commissioner. We understand. And I had Laura to say that Chairman Asiedu Nketia shouldn't have said that they will protect or win the election at all costs, even if it takes our lives. We were in this country when their party took the lives of 8 people in an election. We were in this country where people had to be shot dead because they wanted to change the results and get majority. So you sacrifice the lives of NDC members for seats, and when our chairman wears a war regalia you don't understand, we are trying to send a signal that the mistake of the past is over, and that we are going to match them in the 2024 election boot for boot, that no member of the NDC will allow him or herself to be bullied, that nobody will be gagged, that the democracy which we are enjoying, everybody has the right, and will not allow anybody to use power to intimidate our people. And so that is the signal that we are trying to send to them. Now, it's also important to say that for the many young people who, for the first-time voters, for the many young people, for the many unemployed people, for the many people struggling, this is the time for them to have a renewed hope, because you have seen the NDC in power. You've seen President John Mahama in power. You've seen the monumental infrastructural development. When you take secondary schools in Ghana, the NPP has no single secondary school completed and operational to their credit. The NDC started constructing 200 secondary schools, 43 handed over operational. So the people of Adenta, who for the first time saw water flow through their tap under President John Mahama, will be going to the polls and will be voting. For the people of Kwabenya who are experiencing the e-block, they will be going to the polls to be voting. And so we believe that let our work speak for us. But we also believe that we need the current crop of executives to send the right signals that we are more than ever ready to face the NPP in 2024, because the NPP knows that they cannot win the debate on the economy and achievement. And so what they can do is to intimidate and use state apparatuses to violate the rights of members of the NDC.
But we cannot be using language that will look like...
Which language?
Truly, it's going to be an all that be die.
Would you?
Nanado said all that be die. You were not happy about it.
Would you prefer?
So when someone says, we will sacrifice our lives,
yeah,
that's a little.
You see, would
scary.
you prefer the language to the action? Which would you prefer? That 8 people were killed, or somebody said that we will not allow the 8 people who were killed in the past to be killed?
But you cannot fight fire with fire. That's
we fight fire. So who is the fire? Who is the fire here? And what should we be using to fight?
That's what you have mentioned.
Yes, people are. We are saying.
Are we ready to sacrifice more people?
We are saying that the mistakes of the past will not happen. You see, the best way to stand up to the best way to deal with a bully is to stand up to the bully. And so in the past, the NPP thinks they can bully people. We are telling you that with the current crop of leaders we have, you can't bully anybody. Who are you going to bully? Are you going to bully General Mosquito, or Fifi Kwete, or Yamin, or Dr. Hanabisi? Who are you going to bully? You can't bully Amy. And it is the same spirit that the members will put on and say that we've done this before. In 2008, when the NPP didn't want to hand over power, when the NPP had all the powers, and of course Nana was still their flag bearer, it took the lives of the current crop of executives that we have to stand up to them. You saw the work of General Mosquito in 2008. And so we are saying that these are people who have done it before, at the time when nobody even believed in the NDC. Today, as we speak, the NDC is the most attractive brand when it comes to political party. Nobody wants to associate with the NPP. You can send your reporters to the streets. And so we are saying that much as we know that people want to associate with the NDC, much as we appreciate that Ghanaians want to vote, we are giving you the assurances that the mistakes of the past will not reoccur. And so the delegates have spoken. They have told you that we have the men to prepare and protect the ballot paper. And they always say that we were not able to collate our results. You can watch the documentary, An African Election. You saw Mr. Fifi Kwete in the strong room. He will be there again in 2024. And let's see what happens. I'm saying that if you're a member of the NDC, if you are somebody who was sympathetic to the NDC, we've given you the right signal that more than ever, the NDC is prepared to rescue this country from the recklessness and the incompetence that we are experiencing under this current government. We've done it before and we'll do it again.